3%. Compare percents to fractions and decimals. Here we are using the greater than, less than, or equal to sign. This one's pretty straightforward. We have 69% compared to 79%. Remember, the alligator wants to eat the bigger number, so 79% is greater than 69%, so we're going to use our less than symbol. 69% is less than 79%. And there we go. Okay, these ones are pretty straightforward. I'll do a couple to show you. Again, we've got 22% compared to 41%. That would be less than again. Okay, these ones are pretty straightforward. Here we have 95% compared to 90. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. You cannot forget that 95% is a ratio. 95% means, that is a terrible 5. 95% means 95 out of 100. So this is actually equivalent to a decimal that is less than 1. This actually means 0.95 as a decimal form. So this number here is actually 0.95, less than 1. This number is the number 90. So in this case, 95% is quite smaller than the number 90. Okay, now we're getting to ones where we're comparing percentages to fractions. Well, in order to compare these two, we need to put them in the same format. So my suggestion is doing 3/5 as a percent. So we have 3/5. Okay, we're going to convert this into a percentage by multiplying by 20 over 20. And the reason I'm doing that is because 5 times 20 is 100. If you don't know your multiples or factors of 100, you need to memorize those. So what are the numbers that multiply together to get 100? There's a lot of them. So if you know 5 times 20 gives you 100, then 3 times 20 is 60. So 3/5 is actually 60%. So if we compare this to 60%, bear with me on my rating skills here, we can now see that 82% is greater than 60%. Okay? Here, real tricky one here, 64%, 64%. What do you guys think? Yep, equal to, very good. All right, so let's do one more of these. These ones are the tricky ones. So again, I've got 1/5. Now what I could do is I could actually turn this into a fraction, but I think it's a little bit easier to do 1/5 into a percent. So 1/5, and this is similar to the last problem. We said if we've got a 5 here, we're going to multiply that by 20 over 20, because we know that 20 times 5 is 100. So we actually get 1 times 20, which is 20, over 5 times 20, which is 100. And that gives us 20%. So in fact, these are actually equal. 1/5 is the same thing as 20%. Let's check. Ta-da! Okay, cool. All right. Oh, let's do this one too. So this one compares a decimal to a percentage. So now we're going to take, I would do the decimal into a percent. So I have 0.09. Remember, that's the same thing as 9/100ths. So 9/100ths. Think of this as, this is 9 cents, like 9 pennies. That would be 9 pennies out of $1 would be 9 cents, right? So that's 9 out of 100. Or you can see this is the second place value, so 2 zeros here. So 9 out of 100, that's 9%. So 40% compared to 9% is now much easier to compare. So now we can tell for sure that 40% is greater than 9%. Maybe we should do one more. This one's really tricky. Okay, so here, a couple things you can do. One, what I would do is you could also divide this. What's 23 divided by 40. How many of you guys have a calculator at home? Oh, you can use one on the computer, right? So let's do 23. If you put in the calculator 23 divided by 40, you get 0.575, which is about 0.50, so it's about 50%, so 57.5%. Okay, so if you compare that, 57.5%, that you can tell is clearly less than 88%. So again, with these problems, these are not nice denominators. Use a calculator. 19 divided by 32. Compare that to 59% or 0.59, and then you should be able to compare the two. Okay, I hope that helps.